This week, we question if one of gaming Goliaths could fall and receive an update regarding Marathon. This is the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Game, Bad Game podcast. I'm your host, Spencer. And with me is a man who has been itching to dive into the worst song discourse with his hot take. It's my co-host, Mike. Mike, what is the worst song?
Ever?
Yeah, worst song ever. I'm sorry. I was under the impression that you were prepared for this.
Believe it or not, I wasn't. So first thing that came to mind was the Happy Birthday song by the Beatles.
Okay.
So I guess that's my answer.
Okay. Okay, well, you're wrong. The worst song ever is actually Beverly Hills by Weezer.
Yeah, that's not a great song either. I guess I need some background here because I know that that's not Spencer speaking.
No, that's probably up there. If gun to my head, I had to give an answer for
Is that right?
What I think is the
one of your
worst song.
favorite bands.
Yeah.
Do you just ironically like Weezer?
No. I wish it. I sometimes wish it was a joke, since they're kind of like a meme band almost.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they aren't like Nickelback or like Imagine Dragons level of public hate.
Yeah. Which
I don't
tell you what,
don't always understand, but
as someone who's seen both of those bands live, fantastic, absolutely great.
Yeah, I've seen Imagine Dragons live. Good show.
Yeah, great show.
I just
saw Nickelback this summer, and they don't go around like the joke that like kind of like the band has become.
Yeah.
Like to the point where he worked into the look at this graph into photograph. And he just said they're just glad that people finally aren't taking them seriously.
Yeah, it kind of feels like
they don't.
The pendulum like swung almost back.
No, that was Linkin Park.
Oh.
Clock ticks life away. It's so unreal. Yeah,
Yeah,
had to be there.
Yep. Nope. I was there. I was so there for that moment. The discourse this week is because negativity sells. There's just been discourse around what is the worst song, and it's had a lot of people giving their hot takes, and a lot of objectively not the worst songs put out there.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it like statistically correct that it would be a Charlie Puth song?
Yeah, or like somebody said All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor. I was like, that's actually a pretty good take. Like that's a
yeah.
But it was too popular. Like, can you really sit there and say that one of the most popular songs of, I don't know, it depends on what your scale is, but anyway.
All I'm going to say is if anybody says Macy Gray's on that list, then I will have a conversation with them. One hit wonder does not denote bad.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody said Take On Me.
But again,
no, but they were quickly executed.
Yes, I was gonna say, like, I agree that it's not a great song, but it's iconic. So fun to sing.
Yeah,
great music video. I'm gonna be thinking about this because, funny enough, we've been trying to figure out like what we think the best song ever is, or like the top three, and that is far too much analysis for me to come up with an answer. But I think everyone else in my life that we asked was able to come up with it. It's really a judge of character more than anything. It doesn't have to be
I think I think that's how it goes for what's the best of like any piece of media, right? Is just like it's a way of getting a read on somebody, but I've fallen into the trap of trying to think so hard about what I think the thing is that I've just come up with I have an answer that I feel good about, even if I stop and think about it, I know it's probably not necessarily true, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. So like favorite movie of all time, or what I think is the best movie of all time,
Shawshank.
is Shawshank. Right, exactly. Like
Yep.
it's a
Yeah.
very easy answer to give. But if I actually sat here and like truly thought about it, I'm sure there are movies that I probably feel stronger about, but it's a very like I can feel good about saying Shawshank. And I do love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if somebody was like,
I,
"What's your favorite song?" It's like, well, I'll probably give a like I would say like uh El Scorcho by Weezer because Weezer's my favorite band. My favorite album is Pinkerton, and my favorite song off of that album. But I don't even know if my favorite Weezer song is actually El Scorcho. You know, like if I actually had to
yeah.
think about it. So, but if I think about it too hard, I start thinking about life and I think about our existence, and does any of it matter?
It's a slippery slope. I
What's your
have
gut instinct for best song?
a
Do you have
best
one?
song or favorite song.
No, like best song. If like you had to like give like that rapid fire, or did you never like get to a point where you
I
had a
I
confident answer?
I had a list on a whiteboard.
Okay,
It was a whole red tape thing.
it was yeah, Charlie from It's Always Sunny, Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't think I ever came to a definite answer. Um, I can tell you that Under Pressure was on there.
Okay,
I mean, you want to talk about just two iconic vocalists and fantastic storytelling. Um,
so then Hunger Strike was also on there.
Indeed, yes. I think that here's the thing, and this is why I overanalyze this. Like I was looking into songs that like I think made the most impact to like push music forward.
Hmm. Yep.
Uh so like on the list I had For Elise on there, like classical stuff.
Hmm.
Um I had like damn, I had a Chuck Berry song on there. Okay. If I had to rapid fire answer, because this is what was sitting in the back of my head, but I was just trying to remember my whole list, I'd say Drift Away by Dobie Gray.
Okay,
Greatest song of all time.
I would say Daydream Believer by the Monkees.
Yeah. To go from that era, you just made me think of another one you could add, but Zombie by the Cranberries.
Oh, we were just at a
People
little
hate the Cranberries.
get together, and I think it was Linger by the Cranberries came on. And here's a real quick shout out to my dad because growing up is realizing that thinking my dad had poor taste in music because he liked the Cranberries is the most insane thing in the world because I freaking love the Cranberries now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Cranberries come and you better believe I'm belting it.
Yeah, you got it.
It get the I'll get chills listening to the Cranberries. All right,
I
let's talk.
sing Zombie like I've been personally wronged by the world.
And you have.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, the government's done a lot of bad to me.
Thanks, Reagan. All right, let's talk about games
Eh,
since we are a gaming podcast, but we can.
yeah, we could be good note, bad note this week.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can spin up a spin-off podcast. Good note, bad note.
Mhm.
Good film, bad film. Good book, bad book. But we don't read.
What's a book?
Um, What games have you played this
I
past week?
told you not to ask me.
You didn't. You said I was going to like your answer.
Oh, well, nothing.
Oh.
I hope you're hungry for nothing. That whole thing. Yeah, I don't think I. Is that true? I know we were going to play Split Fiction. We may have played Split Fiction. I just can't remember if it was from the last time we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
But we're getting close to the end of that. Well, I think we did play Split Fiction because I think we went back and got some achievements. So Split Fiction, final answer.
Okay. Good answer. Good answer. Survey says. All right. All right. So
yeah, that's where we're at in the world.
damn. Well, I've got a fun update on what I played.
Oh yeah.
So what I genuinely played was I've been playing a lot of Persona 3.
Yeah.
Really getting into that and having a blast. So that's my like good solid answer. But my funny answer is, as you know, Shelby and I are playing through the Zelda games, and then on like Thursdays we've been like dedicating to playing old games. So we've been playing the SNES. So last week I think we finished up Breath of Fire 2 on the SNES, which was our last game on the SNES, actually. And Breath of Fire 2 was great. Both of those games were a lot of fun. We're very excited to get around to playing Breath of Fire 3 and 4 on the PS1. We did a fun little like run. We like did a tier ranking of the games that we played on the SNES. We put like Chrono Trigger at the top, and then it was really funny because like we played that Lion King game, the like platformer that recently got, I think, like a remake or remaster or port or whatever to like the Switch and stuff. And it's like dog shit. It's just so bad and so terribly hard that I don't really understand how anybody ever played that game. It's like we were playing that in like the F tier and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, so Monday, got ready to play Majora's Mask. Turn on the Nintendo 64, and there's just that good old Nintendo boot up thing, and it's like you need an expansion pack to play this game. And I was like, huh? So then I opened the little like flap, and I was like, what's this thing in here then? I pulled it out, and apparently it's a booster pack or something like that.
What?
Yeah, it's not an expansion pack, but it is to help make sure the Nintendo 64 runs a little bit better or whatever. I don't know. I didn't really look into it too hard. But the expansion pack apparently is a thing that like expands the RAM, the memory, the something of the Nintendo 64 so that it can run. There's only 4 games that need it. It's Donkey Kong 64, I think, Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Perfect Dark.
Yeah, and GoldenEye, right?
And the multiplayer of GoldenEye or something like that. It was like single player is fine without it, but you need it for. It was one of the games was that at least. Maybe that was Perfect Dark. I don't know.
So every Nintendo 64 that I've ever owned, well, I guess just 2 now, have had something in the expansion bay, but then had a piece of like tape over it saying "Don't remove."
Oh.
And I have to go look. I think my Nintendo 64 is behind me, but I'm pretty sure mine has an expansion pack in it. And I'm pretty sure every Nintendo 64 we've ever had has had it, and then a piece of tape saying "Don't remove."
Yeah, well, my Nintendo 64 does not have one.
I need to go look. Give me a second.
Okay, I'll let you go look.
I feel like this is one of the. Sorry, I'm probably too far away from my mic.
No, you're good.
I feel like this is one of the like unsolved mysteries of gaming. Like I think I know a lot about gaming, especially hardware. I think this is one of like the last mysteries of like video games that I just don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
what was this expansion bay for?
Mm-hmm.
It says, okay, so I've got a sticker here that says, do not remove jumper pack from control deck.
Jumper pack, that's what it's called.
See instruction booklet.
Okay, so...
And I know I did have to remove this at one point because my Nintendo 64 would not boot up. So I had to like remove it and reseat it.
We were trying to look into this because we were trying to understand, similar to you, because obviously, like, I didn't buy a Nintendo 64 when it came out. So, like, I'm 30 years too late to the party. So we were trying to look it up. Apparently the jumper pack is so that it actually, like, so it's like all for performance. So like the console will run better. So when you don't need the expansion pack, you should have this in. But in the instances where you need the expansion pack is the better thing. But having nothing in, the console won't run effectively. And
I think it won't run at all.
Yeah, and the expansion pack, I don't think can be just like the replacement. Like I don't know. I don't know if the expansion pack
like it can only be in for those specific games.
I think. I don't know. That's the only thing I'm like still hazy on. Anyway, fast forward to me calling the retro game store that like I frequent a lot and asking if they have any. They were like, no. I was like, do you know of any? Do you even sell third party? Do you recommend third party? Is there like a trusted third party? Because like a lot of retro consoles will have like trusted third party components and stuff like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy was like, honestly, no, I wouldn't. I would try and find a like original Nintendo one. So double fast forward to me spending $60 on eBay to buy an expansion pack so I can fucking play Majora's Mask.
I expected it to be more.
Yeah, a little bit of both. But yeah, so stay tuned for an update there. So then we were like, okay, well, shit, we were planning on streaming and all that. So let's just pivot and we'll start playing the PS1. So we turned on my original PS1, like from my childhood, and turned on, and I know it's worked as recently as a couple years ago because my dad used to still play Gran Turismo 2 on it. And so I was like booting it up, trying to play Twisted Metal, and the controllers aren't working. So I'm looking up if like PS2 controllers can work on a PS1, and apparently they can. So I'm learning a lot on Monday. And so PS2 controllers apparently can work on the PS1. So I plug in PS2 controllers that we have, and it's still not working. I'm like, okay, well, I definitely know that these PS2 controllers like should be working. Not like the most confident about the PS1, but if I had to guess, I would have assumed those would be working as well. But they're old, whatever. Turns out that if a memory card is like kaput and is like in, because the controllers and the memory cards are on like the same board or whatever, it can brick the controller and basically like keep the console from basically being operable.
Interesting.
So like I like couldn't do anything with the controller, but then finally after like 30 minutes of like pulling memory cards out and trying other ones and stuff like that, we realized like, oh shit, that is definitely the case. So I have like one PS1 memory card that is just like can't use it. I don't know. We'll try and clean it. We haven't yet, but anytime I put it in, the controllers stop working. But the PS1 controller that we have does in fact work, so it's good. Yeah, just a wild night of troubleshooting old consoles and figuring out how to get them to work and everything. That resulted in. Go ahead.
Oh, I love playing old consoles like from my childhood. I just get so stressed out every time I set one up because there's always like something I need to change. Like even with the GameCube, like when we were playing Luigi's Mansion, like I had to desolder and solder in a new CMOS battery.
Yeah.
Like, I have my PS2. Like I don't know what's gonna be wrong with that or the memory cards or whatever. And even like my PS3 sometimes when I turn it on, I'm like, oh.
Yep. It can definitely be stressful. It can definitely be stressful. So yeah, all of that resulted in me being so exhausted from like trying to get everything to work that once I knew everything was working, scrapped the stream for the night, went back to the couch, played some MLB. I think we watched like The Sopranos or something. Like, we were like, yeah, we're good for tonight. We'll pick back up on Thursday now that we know stuff's working. So it's fun. I love it. I love playing the old consoles and everything like that. But this is how it goes every time we are either starting a new game or moving to a new console. Like starting a new game, especially with like cartridge ones, because like the first 7 times I put the cartridge in and pull it out, it's not working for a reason. Try to clean it a little bit, pop it back in, still not booting up, and then the old blow on the cartridge trick, pop it back in, and it runs seamlessly from that point on. But yeah, new console, it's always like a fun setup. And then I'm also doing like a janky setup to be able to hook it up to my capture card to be able to stream it and stuff. So all of those that whole wiring system and making sure that everything's like connected properly there and everything like that is always such a headache. But once it's going, it's a blast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my fun update. My fun update for my week of attempting to play some games. But Mike, we're officially in August. I think technically we were officially in August last week, but maybe not. Which means our now no longer quarterly. If you split it into thirds, I don't know what that would be called. A period of hockey. So it's time for us to pick a new game. So I know you had a blast playing Super Mario Sunshine.
I did. I gotta find your list.
It's in the pinned messages in Discord.
I don't know how to do that.
I don't know where that is. It's at the top. It's all calm down. It's okay. It's okay.
It's at the top.
It's at the top of the Discord window in our thing. If you're in the call, there's a pin. You see it?
Wow.
And then there's it's the top one actually. Mike's list and Spencer's list.
Yeah, how about that?
Which I'll edit this.
Well, I guess you can leave mine. Huh?
Well, I'm gonna bold Super Mario Sunshine so you still have to play it.
Okay. Are you gonna make me do that and another game?
Yeah, brother.
Shit. Okay.
Also, make is such a strong word because you don't have to do anything.
Well, I've fucking proven that, didn't I?
Yeah, sure. Oh, fuck! What just happened? And Red Dead.
When are you going on vacation?
January.
Or you can message it to me. January. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So that's what, 4 months.
We'll be done with this. This game is effectively, but the game we're choosing today. The attempt is to just have it done by the end of the year.
Okay. Okay.
So and we'll figure out what the new timeline is because I think if we plan to do this again next year, we'll probably break the year into thirds instead of quarters like we wanted to at the top.
Yeah.
I think that probably breaks the year up a little bit better for us. All right. So I have my pick for you.
Okay. All right, what's your life gonna I just saw it go bold. All right, what's your life gonna look like the next 4 months? What's the most inconvenient thing I can pick?
That's crazy.
Leaning towards PS2, something you can't travel with. going to be 100% honest with you. When I had to travel this weekend, I almost brought my GameCube. I'm glad I didn't because I ended up having zero time to play it, but I almost did.
Man, Discord really likes to pull me away from the message I'm looking at. Very annoying. I have my pick for you. If you want to keep deliberating, I can go ahead and give my answer for you.
I think I have mine.
Okay. I think I might have said this last week when I started to bring it up about how we were going to be choosing our next game for whatever we call this, completing our backlog attempt. And I, unlike the out loud deliberating you were doing with yourself there about how you can inconvenience me, I did truly the opposite. I went ahead and pulled up How Long to Beat, a great website, and plugged in every single one of these games. And I believe the game that has the shortest time, especially since you do still have Super Mario Sunshine, on your homework log. I also realized that Tearaway is a portable game, something that you will be able to take with you with any sort of travel that you have, time available, withstanding, of course. So yeah, Tearaway is my pick for you. Tearaway is the shortest game, I think, from that list, or it might have been tied with one of these, but I think the portability of it also lends it to hopefully being something that is easier for you to be on top of.
I think that's a great pick. And if I can be 100% honest with you, I almost decided to just play Tearaway last period.
you just don't play the game that you're supposed to play.
I was on a trip and I was like, I'm gonna have time on this trip. I'm just gonna bring my Vita. I didn't. So okay, Tearaway, I like it. I will not make any commitments.
Again, that way, I mean, again, we've talked about this. I think this whole challenge or system or whatever that we've been trying to do here, I think kind of like really helps put into perspective like how each of us like to move through games and stuff like that. And like for me, having something that's like kind of forces me into the box is like sometimes really good. Like sometimes I need that, and like it makes my life easier. And I think for you, it helps prove like when you're forced into the box, you're like, but really I should be playing Ghost of Tsushima. But really I want to play Death Stranding. And it like forces you to realize that like those games are like more top of mind for you. And I think that's just as great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's admirable that we're trying to play through these games, but also like, hey, if it helps you realize the game that you most want to play, however you get there is great. So
yeah, it is funny. Like there were times where like I'm like, oh, I should put some time into Super Mario Sunshine. But I was like, I really want to play Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. So it's a challenge in air quotes in the softest way of using that word. You know what I mean? Like there's no repercussions, obviously. It's just good fun.
Yeah, it is. Damn, I thought I was going to pick. Okay. So my philosophy was I made you do Red Dead, which was one of your bigger games. So I was going to back it off a little bit so you could enjoy the rest of your summer. Have some easy time going into the holidays. I think I'm still committed to this game, but it is way longer than I expected it to be. Oh, wait. Am I looking at the right game? I guess it doesn't really matter. So for this period, I'm going to choose Mario plus Rabbids for you.
Okay.
A little bit of a newer game since we did GameCube, PS3. Which Mario plus Rabbids are you doing?
The first one.
Okay. Is that Kingdom Battle or Sparks of Hope?
Kingdom Battle.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty sure Sparks of Hope is the one that came out like 2-3 years ago.
No idea.
And what'd you say the other one was? Kingdom Battle? I think that was the one that came out like
Kingdom Battle and Sparks of Hope, yeah.
2019 or something like that.
This game, I'm on that. I'm on How Long to Beat, which never heard of before. So I appreciate you getting me learned up.
Good site. Good site.
21 and a half hours.
Damn.
No matter how you cut it. So both Mario and Rabbids games are 21 and a half hours. And funny enough, this is so strange. So Kingdom Battle, main plus extra is 30 hours. Sparks of Hope, main plus extra is 33 hours. Yet completionist for Kingdom Battle is 47, and completionist for Sparks of Hope is 45.
Damn.
That's weird.
You know what's crazy is Red Dead Redemption. Not nearly as long as I think you or I would have thought. I honestly was able to rip through that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because compared to like Red Dead 2, there's just not as much like other stuff to like pull you away.
That's true, I guess. It was a little bit harder to do like live events.
So you get those, yeah, you would get those from time to time,
or
but
real-time events.
It just was not, it just was not on the scale of like the distraction of Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
Which is
interesting.
Which was very like funny. But I just looked it up on How Long to Beat, and it estimates 17 and a half hours for just the main story, 26 for main plus extra, which I do think I did most, if not all, of the side quests. So I was probably somewhere in that range, if I had to guess. All right, Mario plus Rabbids, bet. I'll get it done.
All right.
All right. Let's get into the news for the week, shall we?
God, we haven't even started our
news portion.
Our news.
Well, I mean, we gave our news. Now it's time to get into the real gaming news.
The stuff that's not quite as important.
Right. But we have to talk about. We got an interesting update regarding actually 2 PlayStation games. First up is Marathon, which we haven't heard about in a minute. Except for I can't remember if we discussed actually when that news broke that it was basically just delayed indefinitely. I know you and I like sent you the update, and I think your response was probably a good idea. And then I can't remember if we touched on it at all on the podcast, but in a recent report, basically it was confirmed that, let me see what the exact verbiage was. Sony confirmed that Marathon will release by the end of its current fiscal year. So we basically know that Marathon is going to come out by March 31st, 2026. This is according to Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming. So it's really interesting because originally I think it was slated for September, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, we just got hit with just delayed indefinitely, like just on hiatus, don't know anything. And this is the first confirmation that we've gotten that like the game is still a thing, not canceled or anything like that, which is, I guess good to know. But just crazy that like we're not getting any like concrete details about it, anything like that. Not anything substantial other than like between now and March 31st, expect it to be out.
Okay.
That doesn't instill confidence in me.
Well, we'll see it when we see it.
Yeah. I mean, it's great that they did the move to, pull it back, and they're working on fixing things, and a lot of the shortcomings that people felt like the game had during the alpha, I think it was in. Obviously, Bungie had all that stuff with the plagiarism and honestly just all of the internal stuff with Bungie in general that we've been hearing for the past couple of years has not been great. But yeah, this is just going back to, I think I said it when we were first kind of talking about Marathon in general. It just really sucks that like it's getting so many comparisons drawn to Concord because a lot of people are looking at this game. It's a live service game from PlayStation, and they showed it, and a lot of people said, we didn't ask for this. And then PlayStation said, right. And then they just kept moving forward with it over and over and over again. And there were so many times where the plug could have been pulled, and now it just feels like we're headed towards the game's going to release. It's going to have a bad release cycle. It's not going to pick up steam, and it's going to fall flat, and it's just going to be removed from, the ether. I think it'll have a longer run than Concord. So I again don't think it's always fair to necessarily draw those comparisons, but it's also at the same time I understand that it's hard not to. But yeah, this like everything with how it's been handled just does not feel good.
If this weren't Bungie, would this game be canceled?
I don't know. It's a really fair question. I think because of the messiness of Concord, yes, if this wasn't Bungie, this would have been canceled already. They wouldn't let it get potentially the same treatment as Concord. But I think to like the point of your question, like because it's Bungie, you have a little more faith, a little more
I don't
like respect to give them that runway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's not even the direction I was going with it. So I think that's a good point. I think that this can't look bad for Sony. That's your first party IP from Bungie is a complete flop after they've had, Halo and
Right.
Destiny and some of the most iconic games that have ever existed.
Well, it's hard to say that it's on a good track right now.
Yeah.
Like wouldn't it releasing and crashing and burning just be like the icing on an already great dumpster fire, like I don't know.
I mean, I feel like PlayStation got Bungie just to kind of clap back at Xbox getting Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, and not that Spyro was ever first party, but I feel like it was heavily associated with PlayStation. And then for it to flop this bad, I mean, I genuinely think if it doesn't go well, then Bungie shutting down. And I think that reflects poorly on PlayStation if that happens.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think you're definitely onto something there. I mean, I think the thing is like I want to believe that like Bungie has the capability to create a successful game. So,
Oh, I do too.
I think they can take the feedback and everything from the alpha test and cater it to what people want.
Destiny.
Yeah, and is what 6 additional months going to be enough time for them to do that? I don't know. I don't know. It's also interesting because the other piece that I kind of wanted to touch on was in regards to Helldivers 2 going to Xbox. And, kind of before we quickly touch on that, but, I wonder, everything that's going on with Marathon, is your best move, if you are still like going to move forward with it and everything, is your best move to get it out on as much as possible to give this thing as much life up front as possible?
I mean, it's supposed to be like a multiplayer extraction shooter, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think you absolutely do that.
I'm assuming with high confidence that it is going to be releasing day one on both PlayStation and PC.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, to touch on it, Helldivers 2, right? We already talked about it. It's coming to Xbox. Uh, Also from Insider Gaming, from Windows Central. It was reported that basically it was uh, Arrowhead CEO said that it was all PlayStation's idea to like move it, and Helldivers 2 wasn't a game that needed that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
from a conceptual, it's a multiplayer game, so the more bodies you have, the more warm bodies you have in games like that, the longer it can live. From that standpoint, it needs it, right? But like Helldivers 2 was a massive success. That wasn't hurting from not being on an additional uh, platform. But it's making the jump, which is a very mature and like wise move by PlayStation to do that. It just makes me think that like, is there really any reason to keep Marathon under wraps with everything we've seen? I don't know how easy it is to now say it is going to release and like get all that stuff set up and ready in time for uh March of next year, or whenever it is going to end up releasing. But um
Yeah, I mean, if they weren't planning on launching this for Xbox, I mean, I don't think they're going to turn around and say, okay, let's get an Xbox release for launch. I mean, I
yeah,
think we're talking probably a year after, but
right. I mean, it's such a gross misread of how to get a live service game to succeed. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you want to wade into this and try and like make 15 live service games or whatever the fuck they wanted to do uh up front, and your business strategy is to have them only on PlayStation or maybe on PlayStation and PC, which PC is obviously a big base, big player base, but like, yeah, because that's how Call of Duty does so well. That's how Apex does so well, because they're only on two. They're only available to two player bases.
Yeah.
Just dumb. Just so, again, just such a misread. I feel like, um, and I think some of that is like the exclusivity that comes that is like second nature, to consoles. So like on one hand, I can understand it, but if you're trying to wade into something new, you gotta be willing to make additional changes. We aren't in the Halo era anymore, where
Yeah.
you can release a multiplayer game on one system and it be a massive success.
There's a part of me that kind of wonders if PlayStation is playing the long game and saying, okay, well, we know that Xbox consoles moving forward are essentially just going to be Windows PCs
Mm-hmm.
with a console skin. Like, do we just stay on track with launching games on Steam? And then, when Xbox makes that shift, then that will basically open it up for them too, instead of, trying to have multiple versions of this game for different consoles. I kind of wonder.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, it definitely wouldn't surprise me if PlayStation is going to be trying to hold out as long as possible before like caving to needing to move their games to other consoles. I mean, I think we just talked about this last week about the whole like multi-platform strategy position or whatever, and people were like freaking out about it. And it's just like, I think it's probably safe to assume with PlayStation that like they're trying to make sure that when they do these PC releases, they don't suck shit because the game's been out for 2 years and people have waited that long, and then they go to try and play it on their beefy PC unit and the game just crashes and crashes and crashes, and it's just a mess. Like that's probably the more important part of this, is like developing that strategy and ensuring that like those types of things don't happen. I doubt it's how do we release Spider-Man 3 or the Venom game or Wolverine day one on Xbox. Like,
Yeah,
and,
but
and if that is what they do, like, I don't understand why that's also a big issue, but whatever. Like, PlayStation is going to be trying to not do that for as long as possible. And yeah, to your point, like, well, if Xbox is going to make it that like Steam is available on their systems, then great. Sounds like Xbox players will be able to play PlayStation games and will never have to put it on the Xbox storefront for anything except MLB or, again, live service games would make sense, like, but yeah. I guess what's your prediction here for Marathon? Where's this all going to net out?
I mean, kind of like you said, I think they have to trust Bungie. They have to give them the resources they need to get this out. I don't know. I don't know what the demand is for this game, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I think it's going to be one of those things where people are going to be interested to see a new Bungie game, but then people are going to play it and they're going to be like, eh. It's either I feel like people are either going to expect to be disappointed and it's going to be disappointing, or they're going to be like really surprised by it.
Yeah.
Again, I just don't think like I have to put games like this into the same bucket as like Warzone and Fortnite and all these other just like massively online games.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think right now you're going to take either of those names down.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm interested in it. I kind of hope they do some more like beta or alpha testing throughout the year, just to kind of get more feels. And like maybe that's what they need to do, is just kind of feel it out and then just keep pushing if the feedback's not there, or not what they want. I would like to play it. I would like to see what they're doing. It's interesting. It's like I said, it's Bungie's first game under PlayStation, so I think that adds a little bit of intrigue. But I'm not going to play a game just because of that.
Right. And I think they need to bank on a lot of that to then give it enough notoriety to pull more and more people away from, like you said, the Warzones, the Fortnites, and stuff like that, which is a very, very, very tough task.
Yeah.
We'll see. I almost hope that it doesn't release by March of next year. I hope this thing gets a whole nother year in the lab with, like you said, maybe a couple extra alpha beta testing segments for people to have an opportunity to provide more feedback and stuff like that. But I mean, obviously, that's also a pretty big ask for a company to do. In a perfect world, every game would take an infinite amount of time to be crafted and be perfect and all that stuff. So I know that's just not how it works, but we shall see. Be keeping a close eye on it for sure, because yeah, there's definitely a lot of intrigue, like you said, with it being Bungie's first foray under PlayStation. All right. Well, while we're talking about big online games, there was a fun little article. This was from Insider Gaming, and once again, Tom Henderson. Activision leadership isn't worried about Battlefield 6 because Call of Duty is too big to fail. And just to give some more context, actually last week you and I talked about Battlefield 6 potentially being $80, and before the episode could even come out, it was confirmed that Battlefield 6 will be $70. So egg on our face. But Battlefield 6 is running open betas right now, and people are unable to get in because so many people are trying to get in and play. I think it had over 200,000 people in it, or 200,000 people were waiting, which either way is a lot. You know, like that's not insignificant at all. So there's definitely some good excitement, some good hype around Battlefield, which is, that's definitely good to see. Good to have some competition, I guess, if it's able to again weasel its way in with these other games. But something about the phrasing of Call of Duty is too big to fail just has me feeling a certain way. I'm curious what you think.
I think anytime the phrase "too big to fail" is used, it's kind of makes you think. I think that's a bold thing to say, seeing as this is the first Call of Duty under. Is this the first Call of Duty under Microsoft's wing?
The
Like fully?
Like the current one or Black Ops 7?
The one coming out, sorry. One coming out in November.
I'm trying to think if the current one is technically the first one. But if not, then yeah, it would be this one that's coming out in November.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like if you look back over the past 20 years of Call of Duty, it's always ebbed and flowed. It was huge, and then people got sick of it because it was the same shit, and then it got huge, and people got sick of it. And then Warzone came out, and it was not quite right. But then the second iteration of it, I mean, is now this Goliath. I wouldn't put Call of Duty in the too big to fail bucket. I think that a good Battlefield game could absolutely take some market share. I think it's probably unlikely. Like if I had to say which one's going to survive, I'd say probably Call of Duty, but I don't think it's out of the question to see Battlefield take a ton of market cap.
Yeah. It's the phrasing of too big to fail, and the and the leadership openly saying that. It's like it's okay for you and I to sit here and be like, yeah, Call of Duty is too big to fail. It doesn't fucking matter what Activision does. They can throw out whatever slop. And we, like you said, there's the ebb and flow where every year the new Call of Duty comes out. People say, this one sucks shit. They go back and play last year's version. Last year's version is suddenly good because the same thing that's going to happen with the current version is that everybody moves back, the current version gets updated, it gets reworked, and then people move back to it, and it's suddenly the game that they play until the new one comes out. The new one comes out, it sucks, they hate it, they go back to last year's, the one that they hated just a year before. You know what I mean? Like it seems to be the thing that constantly happens. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because people will keep going back to it. And so that's why we can sit here and be like, oh yeah, Call of Duty's too big to fail. It doesn't matter. Anything they do.
Yeah.
But when leadership says it, it's like, oh, so now you realize it too. And that's when I think companies slip up.
Yeah.
And I don't know, again, I don't know if Call of Duty can ever slip up too hard. Technically, of course they could. They could just forget to release a game, I guess. But the likelihood of a slip up, I guess, happening does feel extremely low. But the call to attention of the feeling that it can't happen by leadership is when I feel like those types of things happen, when they feel too comfortable. PlayStation's kind of a good example of it, right? Like they're so comfortable in uh the likelihood that people are just going to buy their console because it doesn't matter, because they've managed to work it that like they have the better experiences or whatever, right? But if they stop giving those experiences, the tune is going to change. It may not happen immediately, but it will happen eventually. And it might be tougher on a smaller scale with just like a game and like a series and everything like that, and one that certainly has been going on for so long. But actively saying you're not worried about a game that historically has been uh, one of like the in the public mind stronger competitors for your game, because you feel like you can do whatever you want. You can put Jay and Silent Bob in your fucking game. You can put SpongeBob SquarePants in your game because you're just pseudo Fortnite at this point, and people
Yeah.
will keep coming. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what Battlefield can do. I mean, I will say this, it's nice to have some competition again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is the first time in a while that Battlefield is actually kind of like taking a shot. Um, I feel like probably since like Battlefield 3, they've
Mm-hmm.
just kind of coexisted. And I think Battlefield is just kind of like the forgotten younger brother. Um, but it definitely feels like EA is trying to, pull some players back in. Um, maybe make a game that's a little more tactical, a little more serious. I mean, I've been seeing oh, what game is it? There's like a SWAT game that's been big on PC and it just came to console.
Oh, fuck.
I know it's eluding me.
I
But you
feel
know
like
what game I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right?
I feel like it'll be like towards the top of the PlayStation Store. So I'm trying to see if I can find it. Ready or Not.
Ready or Not, yeah. Like I feel like that, and then the continued success of like Rainbow Six, which I feel like Rainbow Six at some point here's got to start rotating out. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that if people are looking for a more like tactical game, they'll go to Battlefield. And I think that's kind of always been the case. Um, but yeah, it's definitely hard. I can't knock Activision for getting on the train that they did, and like you said, turn into a pseudo.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what keeps people interested, I guess. Um, wherever I can play as John Cena, I'll be happy. I don't know. To me, it kind of feels like two totally different demographics. But like you said, I think in the end, like leadership saying it's too big to fail is, I feel like they kind of wrote their own death warrant, I
Right.
feel like
Like it's
every
just,
time somebody says that about themselves, it
yep.
goes poorly.
Yeah, it's just like an insane claim. And like it just shows like such hubris. And it's just like, again, like it's like something you can say behind closed doors that like, hey, we feel so strongly about our player base. But like as soon as you say it out loud, it just feels
Right.
like that's when the ball starts to just like that the pendulum starts to swing the other way. And it's like,
Hmm.
wow, you rode this for how long and you just had to say it. I don't know. Again, very likely that like nothing bad or anything is, it's very likely that nothing like will change or anything like that. But it's just like, it's there's a good track record of games thinking that they're too big to fail, and then they fail, and tale as old as time almost.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. And also, like with the new Call of Duty, I don't know if it was just for advertising purposes, but they're making it seem like there's some sort of weird like psychedelic twist in the new one. And it just kind of gave me the feeling of like when they had advanced warfare, like mech suits, and you could double jump and wall run and do all that shit. And it just like people did not take well to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it was just advertising, but I feel like that's going to put some people off too. Like they just want Call of Duty. They just want what it's always been. They don't want the formula changed.
Right.
So I feel like if it's not what people expect and Battlefield 6 has all this hype, then some people could flip. I don't know.
I definitely am very happy to see the um the excitement around Battlefield 6. I mean, I'm definitely a pessimist when it comes to these types of games and EA and everything like that. And people are like really into it.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely, like you said, it's good. It's good to see something that can like maybe provide a little bit of a challenge. And yeah, I'm just really hopeful that, it I don't think it's going to, I don't think it's going to be like top dog by any means, but like you said, it's going to pull some of that market share. And I think more importantly, if it can just like keep a consistent player base, for I think Battlefield games typically have like roughly a 2-year life cycle. Um, Instead of releasing one every year. I guess 2042 released back in 2021, and has been getting consistent updates until last year. But regardless, if it can keep a consistent player base, then it'll be a success by just about any standard. So,
Mhm. Yeah, I got to be honest. Like, I don't really keep up with this style of game anymore, but I've been seeing a ton about Battlefield 6,
mhm,
and it feels like it's 2013 all over again.
yeah,
And you're gonna kind of get, you know, and I played both games at that point, maybe not 2013, but a little bit earlier. But like when Bad Company 2 and Modern Warfare 2 were out,
yep,
like it was awesome because you wanted like a more fast paced game. You would play Call of Duty. If you wanted like something, more tactical, like a little less, run and gun, you would play Battlefield, and there was a space for both. So if that happens again, that'd be cool. Um, I feel like people have to be so polarized on what games they play now. I don't know if
yeah,
but I hope there's competition. I think the industry needs it
definitely,
in this particular space.
definitely. All right, well, I think that'll do it for this week. Unless you had anything else.
All right. No?
Alrighty. Well, thank you all so much for listening. As always, if you could leave us a rating or review wherever you listen to the podcast, that'd be greatly appreciated. You can go over to the YouTube channel. Let's know your thoughts on where everything's going to shake out with Marathon. Uh, Let us know. Do you think Activision maybe shot themselves in the foot a little bit by saying they're too big to fail? You think Battlefield 6 can really challenge them? You can let us know over there. And if you could share the podcast with a friend, that'd be greatly appreciated. Other than that, we'll talk to you next week.